Okay, let's get right into it. We're talking about the incredible, almost unbelievable story of how the Gucci family, yes, that Gucci family, completely lost control of their own fashion empire. This isn't just a business story, it's a real life soap opera packed with glamour, greed, and some truly shocking betrayal.
And this quote, wow, this really says it all, doesn't it? I'd rather weep in a Rolls Royce than be happy on a bicycle. That's from Patrizia Reggiani, a major player in this story, and it just perfectly sums up the mindset we're about to dive into. It's all about that relentless pursuit of more, no matter what the cost.
So that's the big question, right? How on earth did one of the most powerful families in luxury fashion just lose it all? It's a wild story of high glamour, but also some really ugly family feuds. We're going to see how that famous name, Gucci, became both a golden ticket and ultimately a terrible curse for the family that built it.
All right, let's go back to the beginning, because the Gucci empire didn't start as this global behemoth. It all started with one man's vision, right there in Florence, Italy. So, you have Guccio Gucci opening this small shop in 1921, making these beautiful leather goods. He laid the groundwork, but it was his sons, Aldo, Vasco, and Rodolfo, who really lit the fuse. They were the ones who took that small shop and transformed it into a global symbol of Italian luxury that everyone, everywhere wanted a piece of.
And this was the golden era. I mean, we're talking about the absolute peak. The family was on top of the world, their dream totally realized. You had Hollywood royalty like Grace Kelly and Elizabeth Taylor, actual royalty, you name it. They weren't just buying Gucci bags, they were living the Gucci life. The brand was sophistication. But you know how it goes. When the money gets that big, when the value of the company just skyrockets, things get complicated. The pressure was immense. And those family bonds that built the empire, well, they started to stretch and then they started to snap. It's like the success itself became this pair of golden handcuffs. The problem was, even though the brothers were all in charge, they had completely different ideas about where to take the company next. And that disagreement, that one little crack in the foundation, would grow into the fatal flaw that brought the entire Gucci dynasty crashing down. It's what tore the family and the business to shreds. So this wasn't just some minor disagreement. It escalated, and it escalated fast, into an all-out family war. And the worst part? It was all playing out in public for the entire world to see. Okay, so here's the breakdown. On one side, you've got Aldo. He's the showman, the expansionist. He wanted Gucci everywhere. Duty-free shops in airports, new stores, making it a bit more mainstream. Then on the other side, you've got his brother Rodolfo. He was more of the artist, a former actor, who was terrified that all this expansion would cheapen the brand, that it would lose its exclusive, handcrafted soul. You can already see the problem, right? These two totally opposite visions were on a collision course. And this is where things get really personal. It stopped being just about business strategy. The next generation, the third generation, especially Aldo's son Paolo, who wanted to be a designer himself, they felt completely sidelined. They felt disrespected. And all that pent-up family resentment started boiling over right into the boardroom. And believe me, the fallout was disastrous. I mean, it got so bad that the families started suing each other. They were literally using the legal system as a weapon. And then came the ultimate betrayal. Paolo, Aldo's own son, reported his father to the authorities for tax evasion. Can you imagine? Aldo Gucci, the patriarch of the family, ended up in a U.S. prison at 81 years old. At that point, the Gucci name wasn't just about luxury anymore. It was about scandal. So with all this chaos and infighting, the family was distracted. And that created the perfect opportunity for someone else to make a move. Enter Maurizio Gucci, Rodolfo's son. He saw his chance to make a final, decisive play for the whole thing. And he had a secret weapon of sorts. His incredibly ambitious wife, Patrizia. With her egging him on, Mauricio played the game brilliantly. He used all the family chaos as cover, made secret deals, and one by one, he pushed out his own uncles and cousins. For a brief moment, it worked. The entire fractured company was his. But that victory, it was not going to last, and it came at a truly terrible price. And when I say it didn't last, I mean it unraveled with unbelievable speed. Maurizio was spending money like there was no tomorrow. A crazy, lavish lifestyle, plus some really terrible business moves, like moving the entire headquarters to Milan, which cost a fortune, drove the company deep, deep into debt. In just 4 years, his dream was over. He was forced to sell his last shares in the company. And then, just 2 years after that, he was murdered.
And that was it. 1993. That was the moment. For the very first time in its history, the Gucci company was no longer owned by a Gucci. The dynasty was officially over. The name on the door, it didn't belong to the family anymore. So how much did he get for those final shares? $170 million. Now, look, that's obviously a huge amount of money. But here's the crazy part. It was just a tiny fraction of what the brand would be worth just a few years later, once it was free from all the family drama and had actual professional managers in charge.
And the story takes its darkest turn yet. Remember Maurizio's ex-wife, Patrizia, the one who pushed him to take over? Well, the boardroom drama officially became a true crime tragedy when she was convicted of hiring the hitman who killed him.
So after all of that, the fights, the scandals, the takeover, the sale, the murder, where does that leave the Gucci name today? What's the legacy? Well, the irony here is just staggering. On one hand, you have the brand. It's now owned by a huge French conglomerate, Kering. It was completely revitalized by visionary designers like Tom Ford. And today, it's bigger and more valuable than ever. It's a multi-billion-dollar powerhouse. And the family? They're completely out of the picture. Their name is now linked forever to one of the most spectacular family implosions in modern history.
So it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Was that name, Gucci, a gift, or was it a curse? It's such a powerful cautionary tale. It just goes to show you that a legendary name can help you build an empire, but ego, greed, and family drama, well, they can burn it all to the ground. What started as this incredible gift ended up being the heaviest burden they could possibly carry.